Hi everyone. So today I thought that we could cover some tips on how to double hoop. And what I'm going to show you, we're going to double hoop some candle mats. These are so cute. And I know that we've had several people ask, what would I use a candle mat for? Well, there's more than just a candle. So let me show you some fun ideas really quick before we get started. So this is just a fun Valentine's one, but look how fun with a candy jar right in the middle. So cute, and a fun gift for those that you love out there. Also, what if you get some beautiful flowers? You could easily turn it into just a vase holder. It's so cute. Here's some other fun ideas for the snowman. What if you had a hot chocolate bar? After those cold sledding days out there, so much fun. And look at this, it would be a really cute gift as well for anyone that's in the month of January, February even, and those cold winter months. So to get started, I wanted to show you one tip right off the bat. Look how fun, and I don't know if you can see, there's glitter. We've used glitter for the snowman and for the heart. Well, the heart is a double glitter. So if you see down here, there's red glitter underneath and white glitter on the top. So the method that you would use to do the double glitter would be, you first place, I'm just going to do it right here, you first place your red glitter and you would iron it down in place and stitch around so it's tacked down. If you're doing the sewing version, if you were doing the embroidery version, you would put it and tack it down first, then you would cut around and trim, then you would iron. So there's two different methods, whether you're sewing or whether you're doing the embroidery version. So this would be a sewing version again because I already have it pre-cut out. And of course, once it's laid down, look how cute that is with the polka dot glitter on top of the red glitter. I'll slide it down here. Look how fun that would be if you did it that way. Just so much fun. But the glitter does stick on top of the other glitters. So what you would do is, if you're embroidering, you would lay your white piece of glitter over this, you would tack it down, trim, and then iron. And if you were doing the sewing version, you would cut it to the shape, you would lay it down, you would iron it first, and then you can stitch around it. So whether you're doing the sewing version or the embroidery version, but it stays really good. So you just take care of your first layer, then you take care of the second layer. Just make sure the first layer is ironed, then the second layer is ironed separately. That's the best way to go about the double glitter. So along with double glitter, we're going to do double hooping. So today, what I wanted to show you, and I'll clear this out of the way so you can see, double hooping method. This is a really, it takes the scare hopefully out of doing a double hoop. So these can be done in a single hoop, but if you have a 5x7 or a 6x10 hoop and you want to make the larger or the smaller one, then you would want to use the double hooping method. So it's quite simple. The first thing you do is you stitch the very first stitch of part 1, and it does a circle like this directly on your stabilizer. Then I take my batting and my top layer, or background if you will, of the fabric. I'm going to fold it in half. When I fold it in half, you can see I'm placing the halfway mark just right at the edge of those two ends. So there's your circle, the halfway mark is right there, and the rest of it hangs over. So I'm going to turn it so it's facing you instead of me. So this is what it would look like in your machine. And then you're going to place this and you're going to let the rest of it hang over the side. And then it's going to stitch this down. And then you're going to do some other stitches. You'll follow those steps on from the directions. Then you're going to fold the next piece of fabric in half. And it's going to be on a placement line again. And then you let that other half flop over the edge. And then you're going to continue to follow the steps until it's going to look just like this in your hoop. And pretty soon you can see the half of your candle mat is made. Well, the second to last step of your first part 1, you're going to tuck. This is going to be cut like this, and this is going to be cut like that. So you're going to take this piece and you're going to tuck it out of the way on both sides, the top and the bottom. And then it's going to stitch. The very last step then is to stitch this registration mark. I've done it in red so you can see what that looks like. There's one here and there's one at the top. So there's a registration mark there, and it's gonna look like a little box corner. So once you've done that, then you're gonna take this out of your hoop, and once you take it out of your hoop, you're gonna fold the excess over on itself, and there's gonna be some stabilizer here. I've already pre-prepped and cut the stabilizer, but you would cut the stabilizer off that's sticking out past, and I cut the stabilizer on the top all the way around basically so that you don't see stabilizer beyond your little half fold there. Then I'm gonna unfold it, and I'm gonna put my next hoop in, and so I'm gonna show you, this is the direction you would be seeing it. You put your hoop in with the stabilizer only, and the first thing you're gonna do is stitch these registration marks, and you can see there's a little red registration mark and one down there, and it looks like the box corners, so they're gonna match these box corners that you just stitched out. So the key is then that we are gonna place the part that has not been stitched on down, and we're gonna match the registration marks to these registration marks. That's all we're gonna do. And once you've matched those and taped this down, then you can get started on the other half of your project. So to match those, the first thing we do is we put a tack, and we pop the tack through, and hang on to the tack, the corner of the box. So if you look at that little box, that goes through the corner of the little box. I'm going to turn this over because we want to tape it down so it doesn't fall out as we're moving this around. And I'm going to push the tape from this side. So now I have both of my tacks ready. Now I'm going to take my fabric, and this is the trick I like to do. Grab this with your finger so you can feel where that tack is while you're pushing down, and then you know right where you are underneath, and you're trying to find the hole, or push that tack right through the corner of the top registration marks. So now the top, that piece is lined up, and I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to fill where that tack is. I'm going to move that so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to fill where that tack is, and I'm going to pop it down right over the hole. And then you've got, these are now aligned. The next step is take this down, make sure that it's not going to move in your hoop. That's one of the reasons you cut away the stabilizer, the excess stabilizer, so that you can actually attach it to your hoop and tape it down. Once it's taped in place and it's not going to move, we've got to make sure you take those tacks out, because if you don't take the tacks out, you might ruin a machine. So very important step. Take both of these tacks out. It wants to stick to me. But be gentle doing it so that you don't move your top project that's already in the hoop and taped down. So once those are removed, now you take it back to the machine and you put it in the machine, and the first thing it's gonna do is a basting stitch right here. And that's okay, you're gonna remove that basting stitch later, so no worries about the basting stitch. That's just to hold it in place. Then you're gonna pull this flap over the top piece, and it's gonna start just like it did the other, with part one. So part two, then we'll start with the tack down over here, and then it's gonna do some stitching, and you'll eventually lay down piece by piece just like you did part one. So then you have the entire thing will be stitched out, and it'll look, the top will look like this, but it still has your outside edges like this. It hasn't been cut yet. Then you'll take your back pieces, and there's two pieces that you'll cut. You'll prepare the edges with just rolling the corner. Basically, you'll just roll one edge like that, and then you'll do a top stitch so that it's finished. You'll do that on both of them. Then you're gonna place this fabric right side down over your, right side down, Larry, right there over your project. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow this outside line. There's gonna be a full circle, and you're just gonna follow that full circle and stitch it, and then you trim the outside edge, and you're gonna flip it right through that envelope enclosure, and that's what this right there is the same exact method. You're just going to flip it right through the envelope enclosure and just press well. Look how fun. So really, I hope this takes out some of the misconceptions about how hard double hooping is. It's really, it's simple if you just follow those few simple tricks, and hopefully you'll have lots of fun and be able to make your candle mats just so much fun. Thanks so much.